Hey everybody, and welcome to the Everything Voiceover Podcast. My name is Justin D. Torres. The Everything Voiceover Podcast is brought to you by the Voice Realm, where only professional voice actors are listed. Today on Everything Voiceover Podcast, we're going to talk about whether you need a website or not. It's an age-old question, and everyone asks it, and I've been in voiceover for a while, and occasionally, 1 out of every 10 people who ask for advice say, do I need a website? I see you have a website. Do you think I might need one? It's very similar to the question of, do I need a demo, which is answered in the demystifying demos question, and, it all depends on where you're at, and, at what level you are, and whether you're willing to put in the work, and we're going to try and nail down all the categories for you so you can answer the question for yourself and make a definitive answer of whether or not you need a website or not. Because I'll tell you right now, there are some easy website makers, but there's also limitations, and they occasionally will not be that good. So websites have a tendency to be either extremely complicated or very easy, and they also have a tendency to be forgotten about, especially by the voiceover actor themselves. I can say that about myself multiple times, that I've just let it go away. But websites have multiple purposes for voiceover actors. First off, at the bare minimum, it's a place to show off your demo. If you have a demo, or if you've made a demo for yourself, or, the other option of a demo is if you have examples of your reels, or if you have something you've worked on, or a couple of jobs you've worked on, and you have the video. It's a place to show the video, or it's a place to, show your cut together reels of jobs that you've done. It's also a place that might contain your rates, which is great. It's good to have it out there to make sure that if someone stumbles by, that they know how much you cost and how much you're willing to be paid for certain jobs. It also conveys a more professional attitude toward voiceover. Of course, we are all actors, and there may be headshots and everything like that, but if you want to specifically go into the voiceover business, you may want to get a voiceover type website. And if you do, and it's a voiceover site for your studio, then it shows off a more professional attitude, showing you as more of an entity rather than a single person, and that professionalness, usually comes with a higher paycheck. The big thing about having a website is that it'll get you jobs. And that's really the only reason why, that's the best reason why you have a website, is that all this stuff about showing off all this stuff, it's just to get you jobs. And another great option of why you get a website is that it's a means of people to find you. Now, I know you think that's pretty obvious, but I've had clients who I've left a certain pay-to-play site, and they've found me through my website. Or you have a client where you've worked with them for a while and they either move on from a company or get fired, and the person that replaces them, their boss says, hey, why don't you get that voiceover guy that the other guy used? And he has to go find you, and if he doesn't know, if you're no longer with the site and he doesn't know where you are, he could probably just put in your name into Google, and hopefully, if you've got a website, he'll be able to find you. And that will be great, because you don't want to lose jobs that you technically already should have. Now, many people will tell you about the aesthetics of a website. The look, you need your brand, you need your picture, you need a logo, you need a hook, some way to get you in, some kind of funny way that you set yourself apart. And these are all amazing and great advice, but useless if you aren't ready to have a website, or if you're not ready or don't know whether you are ready for a website or not. If people are already telling you how to make the type of software programming for 3D animated games, and you're just trying to figure out whether you want to be a 3D animator, it's two steps way ahead. So, I'm going to say something right now that no one will say. If you don't book a lot of work, or if you're just getting started, or you haven't taken very many classes yet, or even a single class yet, having a website is not only putting the cart before the horse, but it's putting the way back 4 or 5 carts before that cart before the horse. If you intend on making a website for yourself, you will be putting in excessive amounts of time into website building. And if I had a choice between doing that and getting better at VO, go get better at VO. Go take a class, get a webinar, read a book. Have a membership to a pay-to-play site and start practicing that way. Get a microphone, get some soundproofing. All that could be better spent, and all that time can be better spent at getting better at voiceover. Just or auditioning for jobs on pay-to-play sites that actually pay you, so that you can build up some money in a bank, so that you can go get yourself a website. Now, if you want to set up a temporary little website like a Wix site, or, back in the day, it used to be GeoSites or GeoCities, for a few bucks a month, that's great. You can get it done in a night, and it just sits there totally cool. Go for it. Don't put too much time in this part of your VO career early on. If you're just starting out and doing it, don't put that much time into this particular one. Here are some items that you really need to take in consideration before you even think about getting into a website that you may not know, were possible, budgeting concerns. First of all, your domain name. This is the .com or the .net. If you want your name .net, or if you want jimmystudio.net or thevoguy.com, it's going to cost you, and that's going to be on a yearly basis, not or a month, even a monthly basis, depending on where you're going. That's just the name, just having the name all for yourself. That's going to cost you, and then on top of that name, you're going to have to pay for hosting. Now, hosting is the service that you put that website onto their server, and they basically leave it out so everyone can see it, and that's called website hosting. There's a bunch of services that have that, and sometimes it's with specific domains. You can buy their hosting service, or you want to buy your hosting service with one and your domain with another. It's a whole different ball game of confusing stuff, and if you have no idea how to do websites, it's going to be a pain. And believe me, I've had some serious problems with websites, and it all costs money. So these are not just one-time fees. These are yearly fees, even multi-yearly fees. And sometimes they're like, oh, if you buy it for 5 years, it'll be cheaper than if you buy it for 1 year, and then it ends up being that you probably should buy the multi-year because it's cheaper. This is a huge investment, and it's a yearly investment. It's something you will be paying for over and over and over again. So it's very important that you're ready for it. All right, now might be a good time to say that the Everything Voiceover podcast is brought to you by the Voice Realm, where only professional voice actors are listed. Now, when it comes to who should get a website, now the question is, who should get a website? I'm telling you all the reasons why you shouldn't get a website. Well, that's a great question. First off, if you're a web designer or someone who is knowledgeable about SEO, which is search engine optimization, and you're fully comfortable with forming a campaign to bring clients to your site, not just everybody, but very specific production studio agents, all these people who are the people that hire you, if you're fully comfortable in forming a marketing campaign to get them to the website, if this is a skill you are proficient at, then you should make a website. That's the number one. If you know how to make a website and you know how to make the most of it, and you don't have to go learning or reading Internet for Dummies or Domain Name for Dummies, then do it. Do it. If you know what you're doing, then do it. The other thing the other type of people who should get into a website is if you're doing well in voiceover. If you have a custom demo of decent quality, whether it's a reel or something like that, or it's something you've made yourself that has good quality, examples of your work, if you have videos that you want to show off, or if you're represented by an agency, that's huge. And here's an even bigger requirement: if this is a skill that you're going to try and form, and it's not going to take away your entire life, because this is going to take some time, especially if you're building it from scratch, which I've done in multiple aspects. I've went into Adobe Live Motion back in the day. I tried to make a Flash site. I tried to make it in Dreamweaver. I tried to make it in Adobe when they had another website maker other than Live Motion. I tried to learn everything, and it took forever, and most of the time it was failure. It had to get to a certain point. So this is a hard thing to get done, and the payoff, even from my perspective, the payoff right now, I get a couple of clients every now and then from my website, but I definitely think the time has not been reimbursed at all. So I'm just a warning, and if you're good at it, then absolutely go for it. I've had multiple types of websites. I've gone through probably 5 versions of websites, from the worst of the worst, where I had animations with like little spaceships going through, and then I had an actor website that was like a combination of VO and actor, where if you wanted to see VO, you had to click a side thing when I wasn't doing very well. So it's like it was combining two things together. I wanted to make a voiceover website. I don't want it to be a side thing. And now I've got jddvoiceover.com, and it's a website for my studio, and it's great. But every single version took a long time to make. And then, sometimes I forgot about it for like a year, and I just paid for it. And then I made another one. Then I forgot about it. Then I paid for it. But this all helped build the skill of making a website to be able to get to the website that I have now. So it's not a waste of time. It's a skill like everything else. But I do warn newer VOs before getting into making a website. I don't think it should be the first thing on your list at all. Now, this website has to be something you can send your clients to. It's going to be on your email signatures. It's also going to have to be something you are able to respond to. So if you do have a contact page, make sure that contact page goes to your email that you have, or forwards it from the email that they have on the website to you. I recently found out that I wasn't getting emails from my contact thing, and I tried to fix it, and it's not working, so I'm going to have to go back into the website and shift anything to my real email, which kind of sucks, but I want to get the messages. I try to do a million things to try and get messages forwarded from one email to another, and maybe it's just me, but GoDaddy has made it so hard just to forward emails. It's like shoot your head really hard. So I'm going to have to go ahead and retool the whole darn thing, and it's going to take forever, and I'm dreading it. But it's worthwhile, because every minute at least it's putting some stake and some fire into my under my feet, because it's like I better get this done soon, because I could be losing jobs because of this. And once you make the website, here's something you need to be prepared to. You want to be able to advertise your website through social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of it. You may want to use sponsored ads or targeted ads. Get the people that you want to get into your website. And then you may want to, as you're making the website, may have a logo and a brand and all those aesthetic things. They are important. Have a mission statement, have a hook. Those are all things that are important, and you want to be prepared to take on that task on top of making the website or during making the website. You also may want to get your website on top of Google, because what's the point of having a website if you put in voiceover and recording voiceover and you're 30 pages back? You got to figure out a way to get your name all the way to the top, and that's a whole new monster. And that's a monster on top of the auditions you have to do. You may want to submit it to directories. Yeah, and also on top of all that, you want to have the time and effort to be able to do the jobs when they do come in, because that's the whole point of this. Now, after you've done all that, you have to keep at it. You can't let it set. You have to keep talking about it everywhere and build your website, and the question is it worth it? No, I'm not sure. There are success stories. The people who are doing well are making money off of it, and more power to them. I'm sure they have, an aspect of their life where every day they just help their website a little. And that's the key, if I've said in multiple podcasts, is to be consistently doing and building things every day, a little bit at a time, every week. Always have it at the top of your mind, and always work it. And, if the one thing about those success stories, for every success story you've also got websites that have just gone the way of the dodo. They are extinct. They are just out there. They have stuff from years upon years ago. Everyone's seen an old website that just doesn't exist anymore, So when it comes to websites, this is very low on the totem pole of the importance for voiceover. The top part of the pole will definitely go to like training or audition practice, all the craft of acting and recording and like on the mic stuff. And then after that, you're going for the tech, you're going for the editing software, the microphones, the soundproofing, the home studio creation. And then after that, then you got to figure out where to get the auditions. Whether you're a lazy man and you're going for the pay-to-play sites, or you're going for agents and casting directors and marketing, and during that point, you may want to make a website. Then a website can definitely be to your benefit. There's certain agents who believe that you have to have an Instagram presence before they hire you, or like a website that has some kind of niche is definitely beneficial, and that's true. They want to be able to know someone who can bring an audience. Now, just remember, you have to fully be able to produce work if you have a website, or at least point them in the direction of your agent to get you in studio to produce work. If you cannot produce work or you do not have an agent, you should not make a website. It is pointless. And what might end up happening is you don't have a microphone, you don't have all this editing stuff. Maybe you made a demo with someone, your friend, and you've got the demo, so you've got your website up, and what happens? Someone's like, I'd love to hire you. And you have to be like, what do I do now? I don't know how to do this. Don't put the cart too early before that horse. You want to be able to get the craft done and have the ability to make jobs. Otherwise, just focus on the craft. We all get so caught up in the bells and whistles, we forget about the craft of VO. I'm still trying to get myself to go out and take some classes because I haven't done it in forever. I've been immersed in the creation of voiceover that I need to get out and figure out, learn some new skills, and that's extremely important. And learning is probably the big thing where you should put as much time as you can into, especially at the beginning. But, if you're doing well for yourself and you know how to take on a website, go ahead, go kill it. Kill a website. It can only help you. It cannot hurt you. Okay, well, I hope I've answered some people's questions on whether or not they should get a website, and I hope I haven't downed anybody on the ability to get a website. It is helpful, and if you know how to do it, and sometimes making a website can be fun. It's kind of a cool little thing to do. But don't go crazy, all right? If you start banging your head against your keyboard, put it away, come back to it later when you feel like it's something that invigorates you, that makes you feel good. All right, that's it for the Everything Voiceover podcast. The Everything Voiceover podcast is brought to you by the Voice Realm, where only professional voice actors are listed. My name is Justin D. Torres. Please go to everythingvoiceover.com, check out our new articles and podcasts there, or follow us on Everything V, or go check out our YouTube channel. Everything Voiceover is on there as well. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a good night.